guys, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining me again. I love having you here. If you're new here, my name is Beth. I talk about all things mental health and OCD, pure OCD, and whatever else I'm feeling at the time. I'm really happy that I got to film something like this because it was just something that I never ever expected when I started doing this channel. I've actually received so many questions about intrusive thoughts and pure OCD, and I actually asked you guys on a poll what you'd prefer, what video you'd like me to do, and you came up with an intrusive thought Q&A. I have so many questions from you guys, and this is actually amazing for me because it gives me something to talk about without it coming from my own head. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to these questions. There's some really good ones in here, and obviously knowing that it's coming from the community is just amazing because I know that one question from one of you guys will just mean so much to another person who thought that they were alone. So these questions have come from lots of people on Facebook groups and lots of different areas that I talk to you guys on. So I'm gonna get straight to it. So I'm basically just gonna go through these questions one by one and answer them to the best of my ability, basically just going off my own experiences and any kind of knowledge that I've picked up along the way on my journey. And yeah, I'm in no way a therapist, so please don't sit here and think that I'm a therapist, because I'm not. I'm just someone who's trying to I just basically want to be who I needed, back when I was at my worst, because I just needed somebody who understood. And there was videos out there, and there was professional videos, scientific videos, there was all these different kind of videos out there, but I just really wanted to kind of relate to a girl my age or somebody my age, someone from England, I don't know, you're always looking for somebody who you can relate to. It's going to be kind of a fun way to get to know each other. And yeah, if you have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below as well, because that's amazing. Cool, right, so let's go ahead and start with the questions. I have a question here from Sophie, and question number one is, how do you carry on with hobbies you used to enjoy if the intrusive thoughts are worse around those times? Okay, so this is so common. I've had this question a few times, this has been repeated a few times, and I so remember how it felt like when you're struggling with a really bad intrusive thought, and it's really character indicting, and you have this horrible guilt, and you think you don't deserve to be a happy person. Definitely trying to get on with your hobbies and the things that you used to enjoy prior to your relapse or your recent diagnosis or your recent appearance of intrusive thoughts. Trying to carry on with things that you used to enjoy is so difficult because they almost feel slightly tainted. And I'll give you an example of when, a couple of examples from when I was really struggling and this happened to me. I'd actually not been out the house for a while, other than just the general needing to go out of the house. I actually decided one day that my friend was having a birthday party, she was having a hot tub party. So I went, and on the way there I was feeling really anxious because I was on medication as well, and the medication had side effects. I was feeling really anxious, but I really needed to go, and I knew I needed to be there. And I felt so anxious because I was having, a lot of intrusive thoughts, and really struggling with thoughts, PLCD, harm OCD thoughts, all those kind of thoughts. And I just felt like I didn't deserve to be there. If I was going to be there, I was going to be there on a facade. I was going to be there with a character. I wasn't going to be there as me. I was going to be there putting this brave face on. And I got there, and I was with all my work friends, I was with all my friends, my best friends, and everyone was having such a good time, everybody was drinking, but I decided that I was just going to drive, and I was definitely not touching alcohol. So I was sat there, and I remember going into this zone where everybody was sat around, there's people in the hot tub, there's people on benches, there was people having fun, everyone was having a good time, and I was sat there and I was laughing with everyone, but there was definitely some kind of depersonalization and desensitized. I was feeling really desensitized to the situation, and I was sat there and I was laughing and I was getting involved, but in my head and in my belly all I could think about was that I didn't deserve to be there, and I definitely didn't deserve to be laughing. And how could I be sat there trying to have fun when I've you know, thought these horrible things, and I am this horrible person who most certainly doesn't deserve to be having fun with her friends, and how everybody who was sat at that party didn't, you know, they had such good lives, and, you know, they didn't have a clue, and how hard it was to sit there and be brave. And I was trying so hard to be brave, and I remember going to the toilet. I was like, I'm just gonna go to the loo, I'm just gonna nip to the loo, you know, trying to be this like happy person that everybody knew me as. And I just went upstairs, and I asked my friend, you know, I feel awful, it was her, you know, it was her party, like, and I asked my friend, I was like, can you just come upstairs with me a second? And she came up, and I just burst into tears, and I just said, I can't be here. And I got all my friends up, all my friends, they were amazing, and I got them all upstairs, and I was like, girls, I can't be here. I can't, like, I definitely don't deserve to be here, and I need to go home. And, you know, I left, and everybody had such a good night that night. Like, I listen to stories now of that night, and I just like, I wish I was there, like, why wasn't I there? But I couldn't be there because I didn't deserve to be there in my head, you know? So, in terms of this question, relating to it, the way I managed to start getting over it was about 3 weeks after that instance. I was sat at home, I was by myself, and I was like, girl, like, you haven't done anything for yourself in months, you know, you haven't done anything for yourself. And I couldn't do anything for myself because I didn't deserve it, you know, in my head I didn't deserve to do anything for myself. And I really, really wanted a fringe. You know, like when you're going through like one of them crises, and you decide you want to chop your hair off. That was what was going on. But I was like, I can't chop my own hair off because that would be a disaster. So I thought, okay, I'll bring some hairdressers. And then immediately it came to the situation of, you're gonna go and get your hair cut and treat yourself when you're the way you are. Like, I'm sorry, how could you even think about going and getting your hair and treating yourself and pampering yourself when you are this horrific person? And, you know, I could feel it, and I was thinking it, and I could feel the anxiety biting, and I was like, yeah, you're right, you know, like, you know, I don't deserve it, no, I don't deserve it. And this was going on for a while, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, because even if I have done these things and thought these things, and I am this person, even if that is true, even if that really is true, I may as well have a haircut for prison. Because, and I know it sounds silly, and I get, you know, but I had to think that way. I had to be like, you know what, well, I'll have to just deal with it, because I'm not going into prison with scruffy hair. And, you know, that brings its own intrusive thoughts, because then you're thinking that you're accepting them, and that's not it. You know, I was accepting, you know what, if that's, I'm thinking the way I'm thinking, I may as well do it with a good haircut. So I thought that way, and it was a kind of a breakthrough moment, because even though I was really still feeling anxious and in no way did it go away, it was a breakthrough moment in standing up for myself. And I rung a few hairdressers, and I rung one, and they were like, yeah, I can fit you in an hour. So I was like, sweet, you can fit me in an hour, I'll be there in an hour. And I got there, and I was so anxious. I was like, I can't believe you're doing this, I can't believe that you are going outside and treating yourself to a haircut when you are a monster. I cannot believe it. I know this was going on. I was like, and I was like, you're fucking gonna get a fringe. I'm getting a fringe. I'm getting a fringe. You can. That's what I did, and that's actually what I did. I was like, I'm gonna get a fringe. Like, this is so silly, because going and getting a haircut for anybody else is like, yeah, let's go get a haircut. For me, I was like, murderers don't get haircuts. So I went and got a fringe. And I had a head massage, and it was beautiful, and I came out of there with this fringe, and I was like, I'm so glad I did that. Like, I'm so glad I did that. Like, yes, you. And you know what? Yeah, I still had intrusive thoughts. Yes, I was still struggling. Yes, the anxiety was still just as bad, but getting the haircut didn't make it any worse, you know? Going out the house and doing something with myself, it didn't make it any worse. And if it's not going to make it any worse, what have you got to lose, you know? You've got nothing to lose, because you're still going to think that way every single day until you decide to take control. And that was a proper breakthrough moment for me. There was a lot of other times, you know, for years where I struggled being out of the house because I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. When people would give me gifts, when people would buy me presents, you know, we was on the way to Florida, and it was the first holiday I'd had since everything had gone on. So it was the first holiday of me going out of the house and going to another country on my own with just my partner. And he bought me a camera, the camera I'm filming on right now, so that I could start this channel. And no, he bought me that camera. Obviously it was a little bit expensive, and I remember going into the toilets and being like, you don't deserve this camera, like, how could you even take it, like, how can you even, you're disgusting, like, how can you even take a camera, like, how could you even let someone buy something for you like that when you do not deserve it? You know, I could be sitting here all day and telling you all the instances that happened. But girls and boys, you have to do something for yourself, because you know what? What's the worst that can happen? You still feel the same the next day? At least you've got a nice haircut. At least you've got a nice camera. Because you can't just live your life on hold, or, you know, hiding from these things, because it's just not, it's not feasible. And your first steps are to just go and do it. And it's harder, and it's easier said than done. But take a small step. Paint your nails. Have a bath. Self-care, you know? Look after yourself. Go for a meal. Go out with one friend if you can't manage a group. Just, you know, do something that you wouldn't, do something today that you wouldn't have done yesterday. Okay, question number 2. This is from Rachel. Did you ever worry that by trying to get over a false memory, you were actually just masking the truth? Oh, okay. So I totally understand. False memories, if you've not seen my video on false memories, then just check it out. I'll leave it in the description down below. I've done a full video on false memories, and false memories are like an absolute devil. They're like the demon of OCD, you know? Especially false memories that are then combined with like POCD and harm OCD, because you are in for a treat if you're having one of those. I'm telling you now. You're not getting over a false memory, okay? You're not ignoring it. You're not pushing it away. You're not, you know, blanking it out your memory and trying to live a nice life pretending that you're not a bad person. That's not what you're doing. You are accepting the possibility that you have OCD. Yeah, all right, there might be 1%. There's 1%. Accepting uncertainty isn't about accepting that there's a 50-50 chance, okay? Accepting uncertainty is about accepting that there's a 1% chance. And that's a massive misconception, because if someone's, you know, you're trying, you think you're a murderer, you think you're a killer, okay? You think you're the worst person that's ever come out of this country since Myra Hindley, you know? Like, you have made that decision and you've got it in your head. Now, you'll hear a lot about accepting uncertainty in the OCD, you know, community. And accepting uncertainty is not saying, okay, well, there's a 50% chance I am a murderer and there's a 50% chance that I'm not a murderer, because that's not good enough for you, you know? That's not okay. You don't want to have a 50% chance, you know? That's too big of a chance. Accepting uncertainty is about accepting that there's a 1% chance, a 0.0.1% chance. You have to accept that you may or may not be, and you may have a 0.1% chance in this whole world that you are a murderer. But then what about the 99.9% that you aren't? And you have to accept some kind, because nothing in this world is 100%. Nothing in this world, you know? It's not 100% that you're going to wake up every morning, you know? There's a 99% chance that you will, but there's always 1%. And the minute you start to kind of just be like, okay, you know, yeah, you're right, there's 1%. There's 1%. You can deal with 1%. Come on now. Because you'll bet on the lottery if there's a 1% chance you'll win it. So why can't you just accept that there's a 1% chance that this false memory might be real, but there's 99% chance that it really isn't, and there's 99% chance that you are struggling with OCD. And I know it's hard to get your head around, and I know that the idea of even accepting an ounce of the horrific things that you're thinking, or the horrific intrusive thoughts that you're obsessing over, it's horrific to think that you're accepting it. It's horrific to think that there's any kind of acceptance around it, but that's how normal people live their lives. Normal people, or people, you know, that don't have OCD, or, you know, these people, like other people that you see, your friends, your family, that you think have perfect lives, They have the same intrusive thoughts you do, but they just don't try and pin down 100% on it. You know, they don't need black or white. They can accept, oh, that's a bit of a strange thought. You know, I've spoke to my friends, I've spoke to family, I've spoke to people who don't have OCD, and I've told them some of my intrusive thoughts, and they have been like, I've thought that, and like, it doesn't mean I'm going to do it. They've accepted that it means nothing. And I know the reason we have OCD is because we can't do that, but you need to start kind of moving down that pathway of acceptance and recovery, and that's exactly what I had to do. And when I say it wasn't overnight, it wasn't overnight. Trust me, it was years, and there's still things to this day. This morning I was struggling. You know, there's still things to this day that I'm struggling with, that I need to overcome, that I need to stop avoiding. But you know, it's one step at a time. And if you think that you're going to wake up tomorrow after accepting a thought and it's going to be gone, then that's where you're going wrong, because you need to accept also that it's going to take a while for you to get back to where you were, and you may never possibly be the person you were before. You'll be a better one because you know more, and you're wiser, and you're stronger, and you're kinder, and you're more open-minded. Question number 3, and this is from Rachel again, and it's, are you still on meds now? Yes, I am on meds. I am still on meds. I've been on meds for about 2 years now. I am currently on 30 milligrams of citalopram, which is an SSRI, and I have also got propranolol prescribed to me. However, I don't take my propranolol anymore. When I first got given my meds, I was taking propranolol up to 80 milligrams a day, and now I've not took propranolol in probably about a month now, and even then before that it was like 6 months. So yeah, but I am on citalopram, and I have no plans to come off citalopram. Question number 4 is from Eve, and hi Eve if you're watching. And this is, do you think you've recovered from OCD and are living a happy life? Like I just said, I have OCD. Am I in a better place than I was 2 years ago? Damn right. Do I still have OCD? Yes. Will I have OCD for the rest of my life? Yes. So, you know, asking the question of, are you over or are you completely recovered from OCD, is like asking someone who's lost a limb if they've grown their arm back and if they're over it. Because that arm isn't growing back. They're living with it. They live with it and they manage it, you know, and they fight it every single day. And it's the hardest thing to overcome, because with OCD, you're such a logical person, and that's the problem, is because it's your illogical and your logical side fighting every single day. And it's difficult to think that you'll never get over it. And you know, when I say that I have OCD every day, I do have OCD every day. I have intrusive thoughts every day. Am I happy? Yes. Do I have an amazing life? Yes. And why do I have that amazing life? And why do I feel like I'm happy? Because I've accepted it. I wake up every morning with intrusive thoughts. You know, I can't do the things I want to do. I'm still not sure if I'll ever be able to have children because of how hard it is for me to deal with intrusive thoughts. Does that hurt me? Yeah. Am I gonna let it affect my day-to-day life? No, because I could wake up in 6 months' time and I could be like, yes, you know, today's the day. You know, I could wake up in 6 years' time and be like, I think I'm ready. You know, you can never, ever, ever determine how your life is gonna come and how your life is gonna be by constantly analysing it every single day. I will have OCD till the day that I die, you know? That doesn't mean that I'm not happy, and that doesn't mean that I can't live with it anymore. Is my life significantly better than it was 2 years ago? Yes, 100%. 99%. Yeah, it is, because I could deal with it. I've learned to realise that anxiety is just a feeling. You know, you don't over-obsess when you feel happy, and you don't over-analyse when you cry, and you don't over-analyse when you've hurt yourself. You don't over-analyse every single thought when you're angry. Why would you over-analyse and react differently to anxiety? Yes, it's a danger signal, but you've got to realise that the reason we struggle is because our danger signal is a little bit off. You know, The misfires are just a little bit different. And yeah, like, it's really hard to say in a 3-minute clip, but you're probably watching this and thinking like, this girl doesn't know what it's like to be in my position. This girl has no idea what it's like to think the way I think. I get it, you know, I do get it. You think I'm sitting here and you think I've had an intrusive thought about chopping the fucking, I don't know. You think I've probably had some mild intrusive thought that I would never be able to understand yours. Guys, my intrusive thoughts were bad. They were so hard. I was in a state. I was in the worst place I would ever thought I would be, and I never would have wished it on my worst enemy. And I've seen it said before, and I think it was from Rose Cartwright who said this. But you know, that feeling I had every single day, every single morning, every single night was that feeling. Imagine you woke up and you had a body buried in the back garden. You know, that's how I feel. That's how I felt every morning. Like I'd woke up and there was a body in my garden and I'd not told anyone about it. And that I had to keep it a secret. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not sat here saying my life's amazing. I'm not sitting here and telling you that I have it all, because I don't. I really don't, you know. But is my life significantly better than it was 2 years ago? Yes. Is it going to carry on being better? Yes. Am I going to relapse? Probably. I've accepted it. I don't live every day in fear of it anymore. And you can do it too, because we're all in it together. You know, everybody's a bit messed up and everybody's in this world together. You know, that got deep real quick. Hope that answers your question. Fuck's sake. Question number 5 is from Mark. I think it's question number 5. Yeah, question number 5 is from Mark. And Mark has asked, what method do you find best to cope with intrusive thoughts? Medication, etc. Good luck with the channel. Thanks, Mark. Hi, if you're watching. I feel like I have so many methods at coping with intrusive thoughts, and it's probably because I've just had so many random ones. A lot of them have come from my mum, to be honest. I could write a list. I should have wrote a list, actually. That would have made it easier and it would have stopped me rambling. Distraction techniques. Huge. First, you've got to get yourself past the idea that you don't deserve to be doing a distraction technique, because I guarantee that's your first thought, because you'll think, okay, what do I like to do? I like to paint. Oh, you can't paint because you have intrusive thoughts. Well, yeah, you can paint because you can have intrusive thoughts and paint, okay? So get that thought out your head, because that's the first thought, is I can't do that because I have intrusive thoughts. I can't do that because I don't deserve to do that. No, you do. You do deserve it, okay? So my distraction techniques that I used all the time were crosswords, word searches, games, those kind of games. At one point, ask any of my friends. I had barbecues in my garden, and if I felt anxious, I'd go inside and get a crossword out of my magazine. Like, I bought those books, like those little crossword books, and we did crosswords together, because it takes your mind off it. You know, do it. Honestly, do it. I promise you, do it, because it will be worth it. Go get a crossword book from like Tesco or Asda or any supermarket that you're from, if you're from a different part of the world, and buy a word search book or a crossword book and sit with, you know, your partner, your friend, your mum, your dad on your own. Do it. It's so funny, because you're actually having these intrusive thoughts and you just think, you know what, I'll do this crossword, and you end up getting into discussions. You end up, you know, even if it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes of a distraction, and yeah, massive one. If you're struggling watching TV shows and films, I really did struggle with that. I felt like I couldn't even watch anything because it triggered me. Instead of watching any TV show or anything like that, game shows. Game shows. My mum told me this, and it really does work. Challenge, if you have it, if you're from England, like I said, challenge. Whack challenge on. Watch Family Fortune, Supermarket Sweep, Wheel of Fortune, Golden Balls. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? They can't trigger you. I promise you. You sit watching them, like the crosswords, you end up getting involved. Catchphrase. You end up getting involved. You don't have to absorb any information while doing it. And great distraction techniques. Give it a try, honestly. It's fun. I used to watch Golden Balls every morning. Every morning I ran out of episodes on Challenge, so I had to YouTube them. because they were a distraction. Yeah, it's funny. If you're not from England and you've never seen Golden Balls, please just search it. Search Golden Balls quiz show. It is ruthless. It is so funny. Sorry. Distraction. Distraction technique number 3 for me is playing a game. Playing a game. I know, don't get obsessed with game like me, but games. Sims, Animal Crossing, Kingdom Hearts. I'm a massive gamer, so playing games was great for me. It was hard to get into, felt like I didn't deserve to play them, blah 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 blah. Still works. Reading OCD books. Yes, is it a distraction? No. Does it help? Yes, because it's controlled reassurance. And when I say controlled reassurance, I mean you are not going down a wormhole of forums. You're not going down the wormhole of Google, you know, because I found that if I was Googling, I'd get relief and then I'd find something else that triggered me and it triggered a new one and triggered a new one and so on and so forth. So OCD books were great for me because yes, they were a distraction. Was I still thinking about OCD? Yeah, I was, but I was doing it in a controlled and comfortable situation. And distraction technique number 4, having a bath. Don't know why I whispered that. Having a bath. Oh my god. I love my bath. Having a bath, this is what I do. Let me set the scene. I run a bath. Bubble bath, Lush bath bombs, bubble bars, anything. Have a bath. Light a few candles, get myself some snacks, get myself a drink, and I have this little stool, and I put this little stool next to my bath with my laptop on it, and I pick a queue of like 4 YouTube videos, and I pick 4 YouTube videos that are totally unrelated to OCD, and I sit in the bath and I watch them. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant. Even now, even when I don't need distracting, I'm like, I need a bath. Some people hate baths. I love baths. Stop hating on baths, okay? If you have a bath every day, you're not dirty anyway, so it's fine. Okay, this is from Sophie again. How do you distinguish a genuine worry from an OCD worry? Girl, this is hard. This is hard because sometimes you just get into this habit of not knowing whether this is your OCD playing up or this is genuine and genuinely something you should be worrying about. Personally, it happened with time. It wasn't something that I could do straight away. It wasn't something that I could just put into practice straight away. Differentiating the worries between a normal worry and a genuine worry with an OCD worry, it did take its time. What happened with me is that I would have a genuine worry. You know, do I have the money for this? Do I have enough money to pay this bill? Is that person being off with me? I would have this genuine worry, and then it would morph into an OCD worry because obviously I have OCD. So this worry that I'd go from being like, did I make a mistake at work, would then be a genuine worry that a lot of people would be like, oh, you know what, maybe I did. Let's not overthink it. We'll think about it tomorrow. I would turn it into an OCD worry. So I would turn it into an idea that, you know, had I made a mistake at work, do I deserve to? I deserve to make. I don't even deserve to work. You know, I don't even deserve to work. People aren't even gonna like me anyway. So why do I even bother? And you know, did I make a mistake? Did I mean to make that mistake at work? I did it intentionally. I definitely did it intentionally. No, I'm a bad person. And I'd make it an OCD worry. So yeah, it was difficult to differentiate at the time. It comes with recovery. So I wouldn't try and, you know, do that straight away. I wouldn't try and differentiate so much straight away because you're trying to pick apart and overanalyze thoughts, which is just detrimental to your recovery in the long term. Instead of trying to decide whether it's a genuine worry or an OCD worry, just treat all worries like worries. You know, it's difficult because just try not to ruminate on any kind of worry, and it's going to take time, just like any other worry, but treat every worry like it's just a normal worry and deal with it with acceptance, you know, mindfulness, reassurance, not reassurance. I mean knowledgeable reassurance. Get yourself some self-help books. read them. If you feel like a trigger's coming on, get a book. Get your OCD books. I swear by them, honestly. They were the ticket to my recovery. I kept a small OCD book in my handbag at all times in case I got triggered in public. So I'd just sneak off to the toilet and I'd just be like, beep, 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 beep. Yeah, it was a little bit of reassurance seeking, but it was more controlled and it was easier for me to stop breaking that habit. Right, listen. I've gone on for way too long now. I swear, I try to make these videos like 15 minutes long and I end up talking for 50 minutes. That's a joke. I'm gonna end this video here now. There was a lot of questions. There was a lot of questions doubled up, and I did have a few questions that I did want to answer. However, I do think that they need their own video. I had a lot of questions about backdoor spikes and not feeling anxious about your thoughts anymore, and I do feel like that is definitely for a full video. I've had some questions on how to tell your family, what is real event OCD, what is harm OCD, and lots of different things like that, and they are definitely going to be full videos. So all I'm going to ask for you is, if you're interested, I have set up a Facebook support group. So I will link my group down below. It's a support group and it's got lots of amazing people in there that I've met over my journey, and we're all going to be there to support you every single day. So please feel free to join. I'm going to leave the link in the description down below, and I will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, as it really helps my channel and it helps get the word out there more and more. Thank you so much for all your support recently. I am 100%, 99% doing a giveaway when I hit 500 subscribers, and it's going to be a really fun giveaway. So please let me know what you'd like to see from me, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!